Good morning. Hello, everyone. It's a new day, and we're starting a new vlog. New. Yeah, we're starting a new vlog. Yay! So, today is Friday, the 6th? The 5th? It's June. Yeah, I'm really, really happy. So, let's start it off by saying why I'm happy. Let's do that first. And maybe let me put this down so we don't have to be spinning. But look how cool my office looks. And of course, my work desk. So let me put this down and let's really get to talking. Hello. All right, so I feel like I have founding father hair because it looks very like George Washington. I don't really like that. But that doesn't matter. So, today's Friday. I'm in a good mood. At 11, we are going to go have a little lunchy with my friend Toria, and I'm excited for that. But yeah, this week so far it's been good. So myself and the two other new people on the team, we didn't know if we were going to get assigned our new people yet. And like, again, I'm not going to give like details about my job, but basically I am a remote manager and I will be managing multiple people across the country. So like far away from me, like we'll have a person in Puerto Rico. That's crazy to me. So I haven't gotten those people yet. They basically haven't opened up the recs for us to start interviewing people. So even though we thought this week would be the week that we did that, it's looking like it's probably going to be next week. Although I'm not going to complain if it takes another week, girl, because I like how these last few weeks have been going and being getting paid. It's kind of like how I was kind of living in my last job. Yeah. And because today is a light day, like I don't have any interviews to get on. I don't have anybody to really deal with. I just have one planned phone call that's a one-on-one. No, it's not a one. That was yesterday. I have one planned phone call that's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I am kind of free to kind of do whatever I want. Like there's other things I need to do, like setting up my work laptop. I literally just got that yesterday. I feel like I should have been getting it earlier, but I need to really like figure it out again. Cause even though I had this computer when I had my old position didn't really require me to be on the computer like that. You know, we just took like 2 calls on Wednesday. Yeah, that was it. It didn't require me to like be on the computer like that. So I never really had to use it. And now I actually do have to use it. I'm going to be at my computer. So I'm going to spend today after I get back from eating and, you know, whatever. And maybe like the next few days, like actually like setting my shit up so that it's completely ready for when I actually have to start interviewing people. But blah, 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 all that to say, like I have time and I feel like I can kind of get some reading done and film a little bit. I've been very happy though. I got my May wrap up video filmed, edited, and posted. I have my June TBR film edited and it's saved. I'm just going to schedule it to be posted. I'm not really sure when. Sometime maybe this weekend or maybe on Monday. And then I have to edit my reading vlog from like last week. So in a way I'm kind of behind because the reading vlog isn't edited yet, but it should be shorter this time. And that's what I'm going to try to focus on now moving forward, because once things start picking up with me having to like be at my computer for hours, I'm not going to be able to read. Like on Wednesday, that was the longest call day I had. And that's typically the day that we have the most calls. And I barely got up from my desk. I felt like shit after. So I've been talking to my friends who either like have work from home jobs or they like work at a desk mostly for their job. Like I'm just so used to being in a sales job where like I'm moving or like I'm going from store to store. And now that I'm only in one room or in one home, you know, like in a chair, it's a lot. It's a lot on your body. It really, really, really can be if you don't get up and stretch. So I'm going to start trying to get into Tai Chi because I've heard and I've seen on TikTok, like it's very, very good for you and like your lymphatic system and stuff. And blah, blah, blah. There you have it. Yeah, like I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, we'll just leave it at that. So, yeah. Long drawn out a thing to say. I'm having lunch with my friend. I can't wait. I have a light day today and tomorrow, so I'm going to get some reading done and like have this vlog within the next like 4 or 5 days, I guess, and then try to get on a better schedule. I might even like try to maybe change it to maybe some shorts instead of like long format videos. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know, because I think I said it in the last something, maybe in the last vlog or something like that you haven't seen yet. That's what I'm supposed to edit. That I don't want to stop like the momentum of reading and posting stuff, because like I genuinely like doing this and I genuinely like reading. So I don't want that to stop, but I know that I have to prioritize my job because I need a fucking job. Even though like for less than a month I was unemployed and Devin was being real sweet and being like, yeah, now that I'm actually making money again, it's like, okay, it's actually really important that I replenish the money that I was spending in the past, get my savings in order, have bills paid, which I don't even really have that many bills like that now, thankfully, because I caught up on stuff and like caught up on stuff before I got the job. So we're good. We're doing good and I'm happy. So that was just a little life update for the vlog. I'm excited. I don't know if I'm going to show you guys like me hanging out with my friend Toria. I have to obviously get her permission because I'm not just going to film my friends like that, but I'll show you what I eat because I'm very excited to eat at this restaurant again. We went there for brunch with Devin's family and I hadn't been there in so long. I forgot how good the food was. And it's like basic food and that's fine with me. So I'm excited. I'm very, very, very happy. So yeah. It's going to be a good fucking day and it's going to be a good fucking vlog. You will see the June TBR before this. So you're going to see like some of these stuff that I'm going to be reading. And of course, I already got on Webtoon. I found Men of the Harem and I think all of it's free. So I'm going to be getting into that because as you all know, I love when a woman is sandwiched between several men and they're just like all about her. Give it to me. Give me every single story like that. I want it. Yes. As I said, I think that if that is what a woman wants and she wants to be sandwiched between multiple men, then she deserves that and she should get it. And they should worship the ground she walks on because that is exactly how every woman should be treated. So yeah, come with me to hang out for today, but also like for the rest of like the next 4 days. And we're going to read and we're going to get some stuff done. So I'm excited. I'll see you in a second. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so it's Sunday. Sorry, I'm getting back to you a little late. I apologize, but I did get a lot of reading done. So even though I wish I would have checked back in with you guys earlier, it's okay because now I actually have stuff to talk about. So as I mentioned, so I've read some manga, but I think the last 2 days I've been really focusing on regular books. So I've made a lot of progress. I've made a lot of progress in Blackout. I'm on page 370. I read a lot today too, but I'm almost at part 4. Okay. Part 4, I have this much left to read. So I am going to finish this tonight. I said that on my TBR, I said, you know what? I'm going to try to get to part 4 by the middle of June. And look at me doing a good job. But see, it might be a little deceiving now. So I can't get too excited about that because what have I done in the past? I get really far and then I don't pick the book back up. So yeah, I can't make the same mistake. But once I get to here, I'll be at page 392. And this book is... Did y'all hear that damn door? Lord. And the book itself is 632 pages. So I'm doing good. I'm very, very proud of myself. We're making good time, I think. And as I said, this will be a book that I finish in June. It has to happen. Next, I got a lot further in Fahrenheit 451. I'm very, very, very happy about that. So I've basically made it to chapter 2. And that makes me happy. So I'm just putting like the bookmark in. So this is where chapter 3 starts. That works out very well for me sometimes. Bringing it back to when I was a kid and I would do that. But this is really interesting. So I'll read the back for those who maybe have never heard of Fahrenheit 451. I never read this in high school and I have always heard this book, but I never read this book. I never knew what it was about. I just kind of like assumed. So boom. Okay. Guy Montag is a fireman. His job is to destroy the most illegal of commodities, the printed book, along with the houses in which they are hidden. Montag never questions the destruction and ruin his actions produce, returning each day to his bland life and wife Mildred, who spends all day with her television family. But when he meets an eccentric young neighbor, Clarice, who introduces him to a past where people didn't live in fear, and to a present where one sees the world through the ideas in books instead of the mindless chatter of television, Montag begins to question everything he has ever known. So I know, what I do know is like what I've heard like throughout my life, like it's about censorship, you know, because they're burning books. And my sister said something in our book club chat. I mentioned, you know, I'm wanting to watch the movie because I'm having a really hard time picturing what I'm reading, right? I can't really picture what it looks like the neighborhood. I know that they're all uniform homes and they don't have any personality, and they're basically stripped of the they're stripped of any uniqueness. They're also stripped of any way for like people to actually communicate with people. And like, again, I know that like a lot of people have talked about like censorship about this, but also like hive mind. And it really did make me think about people who have AI psychosis now, especially his wife. That's the other part I wasn't quite getting, was the 3 walls I'm building for, and then like she's talking to her family. Eventually I figured it out. And I know they haven't made any videos in a very long time, but did anybody ever used to like watch the YouTube videos every now and then? Because it would be on BuzzFeed, Thug Notes, where he would summarize books. I was like, dude, I wonder if he did Fahrenheit 451. He did, and it definitely like helped me kind of picture things better and have a little bit understanding of like things that I wasn't quite getting. But yeah, that first scene where we're kind of meeting Mildred really freaked me the fuck out. And the more that I have seen of her character, the more it's like, oh yeah, she's definitely giving Manga AI psychosis in my opinion. But you know, people are basically brainwashed, stripped of any like personality or uniqueness. Everybody is uniform. There is no questioning. There is no contradicting. So it's just like a bunch of people who are just kind of zombies, only focusing on television. I mean, when Montag asks Mildred, like, how did we meet? Do you remember that? She's like, no. And it's like, it's crazy. So I'm really enjoying this book. Yeah, I am. Good pick, Casey. And, oh, and then this one, bitch, this one's good. I actually made it pretty far on this one too. Girl Next Door by Rachel Meredith. I got this from Friends to Lovers in Alexandria last year. So I was like, I really want to read a book from there. Because I have, that's right. I did read The Entanglement of Rival Wizards. So good. So far, this is really good, but I'm really pissed off. I don't think there's a single person in this book who's very likable. Maybe Nora. I think Nora will probably be my favorite character in the book. But basically, it's about this woman named MC. She lives in the city with her best friend, Joe. I do not like Joe at all. I'm sure something's going to come up that's going to make me go, oh, okay, I get it. I do, I guess, appreciate the fact that he's always trying to get MC to, like, break out of her, like, negative ass bubble, always, like, self-deprecating, really mean to herself, doesn't believe in herself. I know that there's history there, childhood history, but still, girl, it's all about like not offending anyone, and kind of if you don't try, that you'll never know if you'll fail. So now you don't have to feel bad about the fact that you failed. You know what I mean? So she doesn't ever try anything new. She does like the bare minimum of what she actually wants to do, if that makes sense. So she wants to be a writer, but instead she just like freelances for writing for other people. She doesn't like write a novel, but anyway. So yeah, don't like her best friend Joe, but he works for some trashy blogging company or whatever, vlog company or something. and he's gonna get canned. He frantically calls MC, and she rushes over to his office, and he's like, it's basically like that scene in Euphoria. Bitch, is this play about us? He's like, this book girl next door, it's about you, bitch. And it's pretty much, it's written by somebody who is using a pen name or whatever. Pen name? Pseudonym? I think both of those, actually. I think both of those are what I'm trying to say. And he's like, this is the chick that we used to, you know, this is from Nora, bitch, from back where we used to live. And she's like, what? It is. It pretty much is. It tells the story of Nora and MC. It's very clear that, like, Nora had feelings for MC when they were younger. And then we get, like, the whole background of these people. And Joe begs MC to go back home, to go back to their town, their small town, hometown, do a little reconnaissance on Nora, and then they're going to break the story, and then Joe can keep his job. Well, nothing but bad memories back home for MC. So this is like the second part that made me dislike Joe. The first part is MC is very clear, and she's like, okay, even if this is Nora, doesn't seem like she wants anybody to know who she is. So, like, it's really, really shitty just because you are right that it is her, that we should exploit that, or we should go there and exploit the fact, you know what I'm saying, that she may have had a crush on me or something. That was the first, I don't like Joe. Second is, there's all of this terrible, terrible, terrible bad blood between MC and her brother. They do not get along. It seems like they haven't gotten along even before, like, the big thing that made them not get along, or at least her not like her brother. And he's like, oh, no. And then, you know, she genuinely always feels guilty about stuff. So in my opinion, I do think that Joe is taking advantage of MC a lot of the time. He was there for her for a very important thing that happened in her life. There was a death in her family. Okay. Did you do that just because you wanted to be able to use something in the future? Now, I'm not saying that that's exactly what he's doing. I'm just saying, like, the way that he is about this thing, it's like, I don't know, it's just something's not sitting right with me, and I don't like it. So, all that to say, MC, obviously she's guilted into going. This big issue that she has with her brother is so stupid, and this is why I don't like MC. I mean, first of all, stand up for yourself. If you don't want to fucking go down there, then you shouldn't fucking go down there. If your friend loses his job, that's his fucking problem. Oh, the third thing that really pissed me off about Joe was that MC, like, these two used to live with each other, MC and Joe. MC does not live with him anymore. She lives in, like, a shitty apartment with 4 other fucking people who are messy as shit. And Joe lives in, like, a high rise because he was constantly trying to get her, basically he still wanted to live with her, but he wanted to keep living in places that reflected his salary, but not hers. And she was like, I don't feel comfortable with, like, not only can I not split 50-50 with you, I can't afford to be here. I just feel like it's just too, I think something bad is going to happen. And it's like, just because you have a high salary now does not mean that can't go away. And it sounds like he doesn't save his money. So, like, you were going to put your friend in a shitty situation. You see, it just comes off as very selfish, and I'm not really fucking with that. So there you have that. So anyway, she goes back home. We find out what the fucking issue is. She fucking had a crush on her high school friend named Gabby. When the night that she was going to confess her feelings, she goes downstairs and she sees that she sees her brother is making out with Gabby, and they are, like, literally married and live together in her childhood home. And this fucking woman is just so broken because of this thing that happened in high school. Oh my God. It didn't even seem like anybody knew that you liked Gabby. Like, well, I will say this. It does seem like Gabby was really flirtatious, and I'm not really sure if she's into women, but I wouldn't be surprised if she liked the attention that MC was giving her, but, like, kind of played with her a little bit because I don't know. it definitely doesn't seem like the brother knew. It doesn't seem like they talked about that. Maybe he did, whatever, but yeah, they're together now. He seems like he's cheating on Gabby. I have been very wrong in all these fucking books I've been reading lately. I clearly have a vivid imagination that's going wild. I'm reading a lot of manhwa, so you know there's a lot of cheating in there. But I really feel like he's cheating on Gabby with the fucking PE teacher or the principal. I maybe not the, definitely Jen Turner. Thank you very much. I know I'm going off on a tangent. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, yes. MC, her whole backstory is, oh, I date these girls she's just got broken up with because she's still hung up on Gabby. Grow up, please. Move on. Like, it really is killing me with MC and the pitifulness of her. Like, you're an adult. Move the fuck on. And why are you acting weird? So, anyway, she's staying in her childhood home. She's trying to get close to Nora. Nora's very prickly to her, but it's probably because she's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing here? And of course, like, bitch, I'm on chapter 11. So yeah, MC has to manipulate situations so she can get closer to Nora. Now she's like having these flashbacks of these interactions that she had that she didn't, I think, view as flirtatious, or at least even if they were kind of flirty with each other, the person that MC really liked was Gabby. So, you know, it is interesting and it is fun to read, but man, I don't like a single fucking person in this book. But that's not making me hate it. I actually really like that, and I think that that's very... Who really likes anybody all the time? You know what I mean? And I can't imagine people who live in a very, very, very small town not being assholes, because, come on. And half these people didn't even fucking leave, and it's like... Yeah, I know y'all are messy. I know you're messy. Because if I was still... Well, I wasn't even friends with anybody in my neighborhood when I was growing up, so... Maybe if I was still... I don't even know. Everybody else would have been gone. I would have still... So I don't even live in a small enough town to even understand what the fuck is going on. These people are still here, and they're living in their parents' house, and you know that that's not very realistic. Not in 2026. People aren't passing down houses like they used to now. So, there you have that. But I'm excited to see where this goes, only because it's like, it's so obvious that MC's going to end up doing that. She's going to end up falling for Nora, obviously, but she's going to be extremely conflicted because she's like, fuck, you know, Joe wants me to write this thing, and he's not taking no for an answer. 5th strike. I think that was the 5th one. Maybe the 4th. Either way, he's consistently pissing me off, and I know it's not going to stop. So, yeah, how are they going to get it together? Is her brother a dirty, low-down, scumbag, cheating piece of crap? I'm thinking yes. I'm thinking yes, because not a damn man that I've read is any good. They piss me off. But yeah, so those are the regular books I read. I finally finished Waiting for You at the End of the Runway. I feel bad because this took me a long time to read. It's nothing really like this. It just kind of like, ooh, backlight. I think mostly because I miss backlight. But, you know, you've got blonde-haired model, brunette manager. Remind you of anything? Yeah. So... yeah, these are childhood friends. He is from like a showbiz family. He discovers him, and they are like inseparable for the longest time. They clearly have crushes on each other, but then they get separated. And then later on in life, when he's no longer wanting to be an actor, his dad basically says, all right, you this is showbiz family, you got to do something with the showbiz. You're going to manage him. So he starts managing him. The real feelings come out. Yeah. They get to hunching on each other. Nice. Nipples being pulled, sucked on, people getting poked in the Okay. But the thing is that I was kind of bored. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of bored. Like, it was okay. I'm gonna be on the fence about this one, about giving it away. I'm gonna be on the fence about this one. But I think I'm leaning towards I might sell this. It was just okay. It was just okay. And sometimes they looked really, really like, something's looking a little reptilian. Just a little. But you got them puffy nipples up in here getting sucked on, flicked on. Lord have mercy. Moving on. Then I read We Are Not Beasts in a Megaverse. Very funny. Thought it was going to be like Feisty Omega and his twin mates. No, not quite. Because they're not twins. They are brothers though. And they're also a year apart. But, okay, he doesn't look this different. When I was reading it, the size difference didn't look like that. That's a crazy difference. I don't think he really looked like that. I hope not. He didn't look that tiny when I was seeing shit. But anyway, very funny, very cute. This is that type of Omegaverse though, where if you're an Omega and you're caught out in public in heat, run basically. And you know, the alphas are fucking assholes. But the thing I found the most interesting about this one is basically it's kind of because the brothers are always with him, they become his fated mates. But, and here's a spoiler, so flashy hands. They find, the alphas find out like, oh, like we're fucking him up, basically. It always happens like that. So he is like, well, his mom tells him like, you have 3 options. You can keep your distance from him. Keep your distance? Keep your distance from him? Yeah. If you can't tell, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm trying to keep it together. You guys take heat suppressants, male birth control. One didn't want to do it, much like a man. Doesn't want to do the fucking birth control. Okay. Lord. And then, I don't remember what the third option was. I guess him just suffer the Omega. So the interesting thing about this is they're both of the brothers are given the option of taking the male birth control basically. And one of them is like, I'm going to do it. The other one is like, I don't know. And then like he's coming this close all the time, almost attacking the Omega. Luckily that never happens, but it's like, take the fucking pill already. So even though, because the brothers are always near him, they both are his fated mates, basically the Omega ends up choosing the brother who took the heat suppressants because without, you know, the pheromone secondary sex of it all, he's like, I know I still feel the same way about you. So it's like, oh, okay, so you were willing to make barely a sacrifice. You just take a fucking pill. The other brother is like, oh, well, I'm going to go on a sabbatical and really find myself. Shut the fuck up. I would not even entertain you when you came back to wherever the fuck you came from. That would piss me off. Take a fucking pill. Now you're about to find another bitch because it's not going to be me. I'm not the one. But this was cute. I will be keeping that and reading it again because I thought it was nice. Even though I didn't like the fact that like that kind of the Omegaverse that it's in. I like when the Omegaverse is not oppressive and scary for the Omega. I'm not against reading those. I just like, if I'm going to read one, I would rather read the one that's not like that. That's just me. But I like Omegaverse in general. And then I read, Can an Otaku Like Me Really Be an Idol? Boom. This was very funny. I've read a different title by this mangaka before, and I will put the picture up. It's like training something. You'll see the picture. I don't know why I'm trying to think of it because I know I can't fucking think of the damn thing. I'll read the back. Takumi Suzuki may appear to be a plain, boring idol otaku, but he secretly leads a double life, cross-dressing as a net idol Rumepi, who everyone thinks is a girl. The man of his dreams, Misaki Hayakawa, is the most popular guy in school and way out of his league. One day, Suzuki discovers that Hayakawa is secretly into idols, and Suzuki can't control his lust for him any longer. The humiliated Hayakawa declares there's only one thing Suzuki must do to make it up to him. But can an otaku like him really become an idol? Very funny. In the best way. I was like halfway through it, I was like, I can't believe this is still going on. I thought we were going to be done. But it actually was a funny, interesting story. Where he actually gets pretty far, except mostly as a VTuber, I guess. Well, not VTuber. It's on YouTube, but like it wasn't actually nothing to do with VTubing, so act like I didn't say that. I'm sorry. I think I was trying to just say vlog. That might have been what it was. Anyway. Yes, he does his thing. And in this, there's a secondary story, which I thought was really good. And I have said in the past, I don't typically like those because I feel like, what the fuck was the point? Sometimes. This one was good. And I liked the secondary story. And I liked how at the end of the secondary story, we got right back into the story and we got to see a little bit more of them. The other thing I really like about this is, yeah, I like the dynamic. I like that he's the top and he's the bottom. Yeah, I do enjoy that. I do enjoy that when I read that. But very, very cute. I don't know. I just liked it. I thought the art is actually really, really pretty. Half the time I can't get over like how pretty everything is drawn in these stories. But their relationship is very, very interesting. I'll give you that. Wish they were a little bit older. I really like the other series that they did, which I cannot remember the name. Oh God, I can't. Obviously, I'll put the picture up. I really liked that one a lot. That one was really, really good and very funny. I might want to reread that, but this was one that was on the 2026 Pride Readathon. I don't know where it fits, but I'm going to figure it out. I don't remember if on the thing it says cross-dressing or not. I'm going to put the bingo board back up so you guys can see. But this really, very, very good. And it feels like I'm getting very sleepy, but we're not going to stop. I'm going to keep reading, but I'm going to stop talking because I'm getting kind of sleepy just talking. So, yeah, we're going to keep the good times rolling, everyone. We're going to keep on reading because that's what the fuck we do. Yeah. And I've got my Klondike bar. It's going to be a good fucking night. It's gonna be a good. And you know what else I got? Cold Christmas right here. I'm not gonna crack it open for y'all because I'm gonna get this first, but y'all know I love a cold, crisp Sprite. Clink. We're all gonna be drinking tonight. Anyway, let's get into reading. We're gonna have so much fun. I think it's 9 o'clock at night, so we still got an hour left. Almost an hour. I don't know what I'm going to read. I'm going to pick from some of these piles. We'll see, or I'm just going to go straight to iPad. I really want to pick up a manhwa, and there's a few that are free right now. There's one that's free on Webtoon, and it's the same one on Tappytoon, so I'll see which one I'm going to get into, but we're going to get into something, and I'm going to get real fucking pissed off. And I want to, you know, I really want to read something that's going to make me mad. Those are the best things to read, in my opinion. I know it probably seems like, why? But when these cheating ass men get fucked over, I'm so happy. Don't get me reading What Death Taught Me one more time, because I will pick that right back up. That was really good. But anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry. I'll talk to you guys in a second. Let me just turn the camera off, or else it's never gonna stop. So I'll see you guys soon. Good morning. Okay, as you can see, it's the next day. I fell asleep soon after. My bad. Alrighty, so, alrighty. Okay. For yellow cover for the Pride Readathon, I was like, oh, the Song of Yoru and Asa. Okay, like I literally just got this the other day. And when I opened it up, I thought, damn, dude, this looks like the same person who did Happy Crappy Life. And it is the same person who did Happy Crappy Life. And boy, howdy. Here we go. Here we go with the fucking crazy shit. Okay, because I'm not even to the halfway mark. Jesus Christ. Again with this. I thought this was actually going to be wholesome. And that's on me because I probably should have read the back and then also seen if I've read anything by this mangaka before. But I'll read at the back for you guys. And I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. So I'm just going to say Asa so I don't like totally butcher it.
Asa, looking to be more popular with the ladies, starts a band with his friends. Leading his new small-time band as a vocalist, he is joined later by a supporting bassist named Yoru. However, during a bit of post-concert fun, there was a small accident, bringing Yoru's feelings for Asa to light. Normally, the thought of being with another man would disgust him. But after Asa heard Yoru sing, he has overcome with lust and violently desired to feel Yoru day after day. This is a story that centers on Yoru and his one-sided love, his rapidly growing desires, and the intense jealousy. Where will these feelings take us? Now, I believe that there's a second part to this. I don't think it's the Song of Yoru and Asa Volume 2. I think it's just like another story, but it might be from his perspective, so I will look into that. Now, okay. I'm not at a total loss for words. It's just like, fuck. I wish I would have known that this was going to be the same person from Happy Crappy Life, because like I fully went into this thinking, oh, this is going to be wholesome and nice. Yeah, it's wrapped in plastic, but they're going to fuck. I mean, they usually fuck in these, you know what I'm saying? Like in the band ones, right? But girl, you know, we're always like skirting. We're always essentially check the trigger warnings before you read this, because just check the trigger warnings. I was actually really hoping that this would somehow be about Yoru and what's-her-face's brother, because when we first start this, we find out, okay, Yoru, the brunette, he is the lead singer of this band, and, you know, the girl, let me see. Let's see. Oh, hold on. That's right. They give us the character info. Let me see. Okay. We meet Iori, and we also meet Shiori. Adorable. So they're brother and sister. These are the first two people we meet outside of like Yoru, but they're telling the story initially. And she is a hostess. She, you know, is kind of like a groupie. She, you know, hops from, you know, venue to venue, chasing her dude. So obviously I'm sure people do this now, but, you know, it's making me think of Almost Famous, you know, back in the day, when I know they still do that there. She really likes Yoru. She encourages her brother to come with her, and he's like kind of like a Yakuza, it seems. He's got a tattoo, you know what I'm saying? But he is like instantly turned on by Yoru, and he is gay. So he's like, oh, this is crazy. Like, you know, I don't want to essentially like be like my sister and like chase after this man if I don't even know if he's gay. So they like follow him a few times. Nothing happens. And I was really hoping that would be who Yoru ends up with. I'm wondering if they are going to meet each other, and that will be like the kind of wedge that kind of further gets in between them. Because obviously, as we saw from the synopsis, Asa is going to end up falling for Yoru, and it's coming up soon, because the whole thing is, girl. So I skipped the most important part. Okay. So these like parties that they have. So bands will have a survey where the girls who show up, or whoever shows up, will fill out a survey and I'll have their number on it. And then the after party, unofficial, will be like them calling these girls to come over, and then they fuck. And they fuck in the dark. Okay, I don't know why you would do this. When he says, let's get a gangbang going. Excuse me. Here's my thing. I actually don't think that there's many male singers that I don't think so. No. Now, if Megan Thee Stallion called me up and she said, hey, let's party. Where? Just tell me where, and I will be there, because I love Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I mean? Well, we do. That's between us in this scenario in my mind, okay? But not a group of men. That's just me. So, yeah, obviously Shiori, she gets the call. She doesn't bring her brother, though. She brings the other two girls. Everything is like popping off. But Yoru, his personality is like very opposite of the other three guys in the band, right? I guess two guys in the band. So it's like three of these guys, including Asa. One of the other guys has a girlfriend, so he does not call these people. He does not do anything. He's like, dude, y'all gotta stop this. And my girlfriend would kill me. The only one who I can respect outside of Yoru. Yoru, he's just kind of there. People like really shit on him because they're like, he's so naive. He seems so stupid. He's just not very he's just not very extroverted. And I don't think that I think even if he's used to being around men that are like this, like, you know, whatever. Okay, we're different. So he is not hooking up with the girl that he's kind of paired up with, but he also kind of looks like the girl that he's paired up with. So what do you think is going to happen? We're already seeing that Asa has a lot of animosity towards Yoru because everybody remembers Yoru from his old band. His other band broke up. He is now the bassist. He's no longer the lead singer. Asa is, and Asa's mad. Like he's like, basically, I'm the number one guy in the group, essentially, a la Jax Taylor. So
I'm the number one guy in this group.
Yes, the lights are off. He's done pumping and dumping. These are their words, by the way, not mine. Fucking on Shiori. That's consensual. Okay, essentially. The girls kind of know that's like the point where we're going to come here, we're going to fuck. Yoru does not have sex with the girl. He's like, I'm going to go to sleep, put the blankets on. Well, in happy crappy life fashion, we've got someone like, oh, I'm just going to crawl into bed with this person. I'm just going to assume that it's a woman and I'm going to do you in the butt. Yeah, and that's what happened. So this does not start out, okay, but it is liked by Yoru because apparently what we've just figured out is that he's a masochist, so here we go. Giving a lot of what I read in Happy Crappy Life. So this is interesting. So basically, yes, we know that they're going to end up together. Like, that's the point. But I wonder if Asa is going to keep pushing Yoru away, pushing him away, because they just did something else again. And he is so, like, he's not likable. He's a very, very, very cruel, I think. I understand you had sex with someone that you weren't expecting to have sex with. You feel like you're a joke. You find out that this guy has, like, some type of affection for you because Yoru's like, I like you. And he starts saying the F slur. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? I would expect somebody with that kind of attitude to say something like that, though. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm angry. But don't take your anger out on Yoru, okay? Because he was the one who was assaulted here, by the way. We're clearly forgetting this in the story, Asa. But yeah, he's like, if you care about what the fuck I think, don't ever fucking bother me again. So he's going to end up slowly having feelings for Yoru. I think Yoru is somehow, maybe, I really do hope, gets involved somehow with Iori. Do I think anything will come of it? Maybe. But he's going to feel some type of way about it because you know he will. And he's going to be like, oh, I want you now. And you know what? Unfortunately, since I know they're going to be together in the end, that sucks. I wish that he would say, fuck you. Hell fucking no. I wish he would say that. In my mind, I will write that ending since I know that's not how it's going to be. But yes, we're diving right back into this. I also have other stuff I want to talk about because I did read last night. I read a short story on Lezhin and I started something on Webtoon that I'm really excited about. I think it's called, I actually don't know what the thing is called. I'll put the picture up, but it is like a better version of, oh, now I can't remember what the name of that is. Hold on. Operation True Love. So, you know, you can see someone's dating history, except they're in college, and I like it a lot better. So we'll see. Well, I will be reporting back. I'm turning this phone off because that has been my issue the last few days. I've just been scrolling nonstop, and I'm sick of it. So we got Criminal Minds on in the background, stuff I've already watched. Just a nice little background noise. And we're getting right back into Yellow Cover, the song of Yoru and Asa. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so I've read quite a bit, and I'm proud of myself. So I did finish the song of Yoru and Asa. Wow, that took an even darker turn, and that was pretty dark. Very, 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 very dark. Now, at this point in my life, I've read 2 things by this mangaka, and both of them have rape in them, okay? Just making that very clear. I think they both also have another added layer of, I mean, like, that's already a very violent thing that happens. And then there's, like, another, like, kind of, I don't know, it's the psychological, it's the brutality in this one. You kind of have that in Happy Crappy Life, but it's going back in time, which is also a very fucked up. So I wanted to make that clear that is something that happens in these. And again, this is the second one I've read by this mangaka, and this one was like especially like violent. Okay, so just know that before you go in, because of course for me, again, not realizing who wrote it, just based off of the cover, even the back of it, I would think that this was like semi-wholesome. So don't think for a second that that's what this is. It is not. But my wish was not something that should have come true. I was saying that I wanted Shiori's brother Iori to possibly like have a moment with Yoru, and no, he is very, very brutal and awful, and I did not realize he was going to be like that, because like even though it kind of hinted at him being like Yakuza, it wasn't like put exactly that way. So I was like, oh, it would be really funny if he just looks like he does this, he sounds like he does this, but he does something completely different. But no, and then what he ends up doing to Asa is fucked up. I will say Asa's character, like, I don't get like the animosity, the hostility, like the like homophobia, like just like oozing out of him. He's so mean to Yoru, like it's awful. And then I feel bad for Yoru because he just kind of like accepts being treated that way, and that made me very sad. But yes, this has been read. I don't know what else to say other than that. I will say that the art in here, dude, the way this person draws is like so aesthetically pleasing. Definitely likes to add bush. I can appreciate that. You know, bring back the bush. Not everybody's like a clean shaven, you know, hairless, you know, sausage, just like a ham. You know what I mean? Not everybody's like that. You know, bring back the bush. I can appreciate that. I appreciate the bush that's in here. Just putting it out there. I'm going to move on because Jesus. Okay, then I read Dysfunctional Family Theory. This was so good. I really, really, really liked this. I actually, quite frankly, I needed this. I needed this wholesome story after the one I was just talking about, because this was so good and I really liked it. So basically, these two guys who used to know each other like way back in their early 20s, they are now years later told like, hey, did you sleep with this person? It's a girl that they both had a relationship with named Ruriko. Ruriko's mother is reaching out to them and trying to get them to be a part of Ruriko's daughter's life, because Ruriko had a daughter and she never told anybody who the parent was, but she basically made like a will that was, oh, Megaru, the daughter, you could decide between these two people and that could be your dad. So Ruriko's personality is very like hippie-esque, you know, I'm going with the flow. I'm certainly not a homebody. She partied. Most people didn't know she had a child. And she was clearly neglecting Megaru, as, you know, she was. But she's basically, the grandma is like, look, we'll do this for 3 months, okay? And Megaru's going to live with you, and she's going to decide at the end of the 3 months who she wants to be her dad. Obviously, that's ridiculous. But we find out a little bit more about their relationship. And of course, like, I'm going to go into spoilers now. We find out that, you know, Ruriko was the person that kind of they knew mutually, but Sentaro, was actually in love with, why can't I remember his name now? Toma. That's right, with Toma. Good looking brunette. He had a huge crush on him, and he ended up kind of like hooking up with Ruriko. Then he finds out that Ruriko's hooking up with Toma. There's already something else going on unrelated to the hooking up thing that he's been made disappointed of Toma for. So, this is so many more layers of like fucked up to him, because he's like, you stole my girl. This isn't my kid, but like, what the fuck? You can't steal my kid either. Like, I really do like Sentaro as a character, and I genuinely enjoyed his, like, I didn't enjoy his personality at first, but obviously we see why he is the way he is. He is like willing to, he's so self-conscious in himself, but he's willing to succeed under somebody else's name. And I felt so sorry for him, because like music is his passion. It's something that he loves. He doesn't just do it for work. And he's basically ghostwriting for other people because like he doesn't have the name recognition, so it doesn't take off. So someone kind of takes advantage of that, and he can never celebrate the success that he has when he's the one who wrote these songs that get popular. It's for someone else to get all the accolades, and that becomes a really big issue. You see how that plays out, and I liked it. Toma is cold. He keeps people at arm's length, and he just does not seem to really have any type of parental like bone in his body, or friendly bone in his body either. But their dynamic with Meguru is so adorable and really perfect, and actually like probably too, like, it's sad because the thing about, I know I didn't mention this, Ruriko, she dies. Apparently she was sick, and this was her will, right? But we see the way these guys think back on the time with her. So we get flashbacks of when they were all in their 20s. And it really, like, yeah, she slept around a lot. She seemed to be very laissez-faire with her life. She was like the wind, like a leaf on the wind or whatever. And Toma's very, very cold talking about Ruriko in front of Meguru. Sentaro was like, okay, no, what if he's like, she was a bitch. She was this, she was that. She didn't fucking care about anybody. She didn't even care about her kid. So Toma's very, yeah, he's just very cold. And you get why. We find out about his parents. I can understand why he feels that way really about anybody, because it's not like he has a really good representation of family. You know what I mean? But Sentaro is like, well, maybe the reason why Ruriko didn't try to have all of these sweet, motherly, ooey gooey moments with Meguru is because she knew that she was sick and she was going to die. And she didn't want to, her thought process wouldn't be better if she didn't care that I died. And it's like, it makes you want to cry almost, like the way that it seems like Ruriko is just a very deeply misunderstood woman. Her mom admits, like, I was really, like, because she was born sickly, I was very strict. I basically, like, kept her in a cage. So when she became 18, she broke out and she flew away and she did her own thing. And even she basically says, like, there is no perfect parent. I probably, if I would have loved Ruriko differently and treated her differently, we might not even be in this situation. And as the grandma saying that to Sentaro, because Sentaro, it's so interesting that he, and I love the honesty that the guys have, especially Sentaro. Sentaro more than anything, because he's a little bit more introspective and, really trying to figure out, like, am I, even if I want to be Meguru's dad, should I? Do I deserve to be? Am I going to be a good one? You know what I mean? So, he thinks about that. I'm sorry. When Toma is saying something, bad about Ruriko. He's like, he's the one who's like, well, what if she did it this way? You know, he's just more empathetic. He just cares more. And as time goes on, he finally gets out from under this person who's been taking advantage of him. We find out that Toma has kind of been in the mob a little bit, not fully, but he's been working with the mob family that his father went to prison, for, you know what I'm saying? So he's kind of like in and out of this situation. And then this boss that we keep hearing about, he too has a connection to them because he was in love with Ruriko. So now we really don't know who Meguru's father is. It very well could have been the Yakuza boss. It seems like it probably wouldn't be Toma, but it definitely seems like it could be Sentaro's. So I really, really, really liked this. I think this was really, really good. I think it's just 2 volumes. I'm pretty sure. I think this is the last volume. But I don't say final on it, and I get myself fucked up with that. Jesus. If it's just 2, I think this was awesome. If there's a 3rd one, I would love it. But the way it ends, you kind of can tell that there's probably not going to be a 3rd one. We've kind of established everything we needed to establish, figured out everything we needed to finish. So very, very good. I will say, because I'm keeping my little stickers and everything. I put some stickers on stuff so far. So Love Triangle is something I'm going to talk about in a second. Yellow Cover was also the song of Yoru and Asa. Uniform, I actually think this will count for Can blah 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 love Idol Otaku one, the one I read the other day, because he has him put on the idol uniform. That's what I'm going to go for. 7 C's was Dysfunctional Family Theory. Omega was the one I read the other day. And yeah, we're doing good with this, so I'm proud of that. And yeah. So now let's get into the things I mentioned earlier. Okay, so this is what I was reading on Webtoon that I said was like Operation True Love, just, better. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean. So, X Love Review. This is so good so far. As I said, this is kind of what Operation True Love I think could have been, but it's a little bit more angsty. I think that's what it is about Operation True Love, especially the time skip. When we move forward, it's so angsty. Oh God, it's even more angsty than when they were in high school, and that was like worth being angsty. Because weren't we all? This though, no, okay. Let's read the damn synopsis. Giju is highly competent, but when it comes to love, she always seems to choose the wrong guy. This time, she thought things would be different, but again, her faith is betrayed, and during a heated argument, she ends up falling down a flight of stairs. When she awakens in the hospital, she starts seeing suspicious relationship reviews of others. Love reviews written by their former exes? Could this strange phenomenon be able to save Giju's love life? This is so good so far. I'm only on episode, I think I'm on in the car. Yeah, I think I'm on in the car. I just cleared out of it on my phone. So, yeah. What are we looking at? We're looking at in the 50s, right? So, episode 58. It will return soon, apparently. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with this basically being on a hiatus and waiting. But, I really should look and see how many episodes Operation True Love is. Oh, wow. Okay, they've gotten quite a few. Oh, my God. Dude, Operation True Love, it gets me every time because it's addictive. Oh my God. Like, I almost want to reread from the beginning, but fuck that first part when they're in high school was so hard to read, especially the sister who's not actually a fucking sister. It's like, what the fuck? That was just fucking crazy, let me tell you. Okay. There is a penis in here, so let's put this up bigger. So, and you can kind of still see it, so let's just try to be strategic. It doesn't matter, it's not a real penis. Okay. So, This goes for love triangle threesome because this is why not both? Bitch, this is exactly the kind of thing I would want to read. Yes, so let's read the synopsis together. So this was like a short that just like, I think this is a new release on Lezhin. So I was like, you know what, let me get into it. I think somebody said they read it on Twitter. And I was like, I have the coin, so let's pick her up. Okay. It's a classic setup gone wrong. The neglected boyfriend, the pining younger student, and a hidden exhibitionist streak. When Jisoo decides to punish his boyfriend, Hyun-oh, by seducing his student Hyun-jae, he thinks he's the one in control. He offers up his pierced body as a playground, only for Hyun-oh to walk in and join the fun. Girl! Caught in a web of obsession and sibling rivalry, Jisoo realizes that his birthday wish for more love might have just come true in the most deviant way possible. The game is no longer about jealousy, it's about just how much Jisoo can handle. Yeah, this was really good. This was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed this a lot. Okay, I'd give it 5 out of 5. I'm sorry. This was really good. Okay, so the good thing is that they're not biological brothers, these two. And they're not even close as, like, step siblings, right? So I did enjoy that. I'm glad that that was established and that they were not biological. But this was good. The dude in the middle, yeah, pierced nippies, slutty little waist. Oh my God. Okay, no, I'm blushing. This was so good. I really, really like this. Okay, let's get it together, Connie. So this was really, not only was this very funny, obviously awesome drawings, looked really great, but yeah, he is his boyfriend. They've been together for like, I don't know, like 2 years, and it has been away. He's been like studying abroad, and I guess his birthday is like Christmas Eve. It's their anniversary and something else. And he's like, I really wanted to see you for these special things. And he's like, oh, well, I'll see you when I see you, basically. And he's been making comments about like, oh, I would love to see you with somebody else, giving open relationship type thing. Okay. But he is pissed. Obviously, he's like, it's my birthday. It's our anniversary. Like, what the fuck? Like, I should not be alone on this special occasion. He does not know, obviously spoilers coming, he is literally on his way. He's actually going to surprise him the day that this happens. And this was all just like a fake out. So he ends up meeting up with him again. He used to tutor him, right? He has never known, because they're not close at all, they don't talk about each other, that these two are brothers. So he's been involved with this guy, even though he's been tutoring this guy. And of course, he's had a crush on him. So he gets some text message from him again. And he's like, oh, why don't you hook up with somebody? Blah, blah, blah. I would love to watch you. And he's like, you know what? Fuck you. So he's like, I'm going to cheat. Okay. I don't usually condone it. But in a story like this, how about it? Let's get into it. Yeah, get your cheat on. Okay, just get your cheat on. So he's like, oh, you sucking my nipples? Okay. They get to, girl. But then, guess who comes? Him. He comes in the house. He's like, oh, what the hell's going on? Then he gets the fucking on him. Lord. Little brother's in the other room. Oh, my God. Okay. Yes, they get to... Okay, so yes, it's a threesome, and then they end up together. So it's also, so it's not a love triangle in that it's toxic. Everybody's where they want to be in this story. So you know what? Congratulations. So that's what I've read so far. Now I want to get more reading done for sure. Tomorrow's going to be a really busy day for me, so I want to read as much as possible. So hopefully I can read a little bit more. We can talk again tonight. If not, I'll try to talk to you guys in between all of these conference calls I have tomorrow. But I'm really excited. We're going to have a good little situation going. Okay? And I'm going to get her done. Now, no, I only read a few, so I'm not going to count it yet. I'm going to end up reading the thing I bought on Lezhin that was a GL. And I don't know which way I want to go. I definitely can get bingo here for sure, because I'm going to read Driver's High for Breakup, because I said I wanted to read Driver's High. But, you know, I have a Tokyo Pop option on every side of me. So I can definitely get bingo here. I don't know about this one. I don't know. And the thing is, I'm trying to do something different for every prompt, but obviously some of these prompts fit multiple. So, you know, I'll see. I don't want to make it too easy for myself. So, yeah. But yeah, I could probably get this one too. I don't think I'll ever get here or here, unfortunately, but we'll see. But yep. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm excited. Friends to lovers. I gotta find a friends to lovers. That won't be hard. I can find something like that. But anyway, I'm going to get to reading, get back into watching Criminal Minds. We're going to have a good night. Hey, everybody. Okay, so today's Thursday. I haven't gotten back to you. I'm so sorry. But I have been busy. Yesterday was a very long work day, and I basically fell asleep as soon as Evan got home. So like an hour after all like my work stuff ended, and was asleep, dude. I don't know what was wrong with me. Like I didn't eat that much, but like I feel like I ate food, but I was like very lightheaded and dizzy, and like I felt myself like, you know, woozy, like almost like falling. So I was like, let me just lay down and relax. And then, you know, once Devin got into bed, he started snuggling on me. I fell asleep. And I can't help it. I love sleep. Okay, so I'm gonna prop you up on my phone. We're talking right now before I have to get back into work, because I was like, you know what? I just saw something on Twitter, a finely drawn man. And I was like, ooh, what is this from? It is from Love Junkie. So I've been wanting to read Love Junkie for a while. The art is very, very pretty, but I had no idea what it was about. When I look at the cover, you know, it's like a woman sandwiched between two men. Well, you don't gotta fucking pull my arm, okay? I'm fixing to rate it. But then I got to this part, and I'm like, here I go again. And you know what? I want to say this because I just saw a tweet, and I was like, exactly, this is exactly it. Fiction is fun, okay? You don't have to read anything that you don't want to read, but you know, just because you read something doesn't mean that you condone it or you like it. I don't like cheating. I think cheating is wrong. I think you should just be honest and leave it at that. Period. But I read fiction. I read fictional stories where people cheat, and it gets me all fucking pissed off. I did not know that the main female character in this was the other woman, and y'all know how I feel about that, okay? I can't take it. I can't take it, okay? Remember when I was reading Another Woman's Man or something? Another Woman's Man? Another Man's Woman? Or something like that, where she's actively trying to hook up with her boss, even though she knows he's married. Like, it just too much. And I never even finished that one, but I would like to get back into it because I know it's like many episodes since I've read it. Don't know where I'm going to be able to read it though. Bitch. Okay, she's mad. The main character of this, here's a spoiler. The main character of this is like, she's having an affair with a married man. He's obviously stringing her along, and he's got to do something with his wife, but of course he's telling his mistress, like, I don't even sleep with her, we don't even sleep together, this is just a marriage of convenience. So he doesn't talk to her for a week. She's mad, of course, and then she always takes him back. So he shows up, and, you know, she's got her titties out and everything, and he's like, oh, it's okay, like, I just left my phone at home, like, my secret phone for talking to you, and, you know, I got you the thing you really wanted, it's okay. And she asks him, so, did you do it with your wife? He says, of course not, she's got her own little boy toy to keep her busy. Check if you don't believe me. What the fuck do you think he's fixing to say about check? Okay, so he's like taking his jacket off because they're about to fuck in the car in the parking garage.
you gotta want more for yourself, ma'am. I'm sorry. Like, I understand. I've never had anything like that before. But if you gotta just be having sex in the car, are you allowed in the house? Should you be allowed in the house? Even if it's a marriage of convenience? Something doesn't seem right. And maybe it is a marriage of convenience and it doesn't. But he's taking off his clothes and I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna see, like, check for any, like, marks. This is what he says. You'll be able to tell when you taste my cum. Now, doesn't that sound like, let me smell your dick? Does anybody remember that song? That's disgusting. What do you mean I can tell? You can't, by the way. You can't tell. Girl. And now they're having sex in the car, and that's really drawn very well. And the thing about it that, like, is drawing me to it is that it reminds me of the, like, the way that Limited Run looks. And I really, really, really like the art style of that. And, you know, I didn't even check to see if this person, I don't think so. Artist, have they done anything else? The writer. Nope, this is the first thing. Okay. I can't show you that because there's a nipple. But, oh my God, it's drawn so well. They're having sex on the side of the car. I'm like, should I? Okay, stop. I am going to read this. I am going to read this first episode because it's free. But I'm trying to decide, like, do I want to spend my coins on Love Junkie? You know, I have a very limited straight story situation that's, like, so freaky nasty, all right? Like, I feel like I read a lot of straight stuff on Webtoon, which I love a villainess. I love a reborn villainess, okay? But when it comes to, like, these where they're getting really freaky, I prefer the woman to be dominant to the man, right? I want the man to be submissive and to yearn and beg and plead and cry on his knees for her time. Because that's how it should be, okay? If you haven't had it before, you need to try it. I'm telling you, like, you need this in your life. If I'm not trying to knock the stuff that y'all like, all right? If you like being the one on your knees, that's fine. It's not for me. But I'm telling you, there's just like a beautiful thing there. Just to, you know, let me say things. My parents watch this. And sometimes my mother-in-law watches this, so we won't go into detail. But this one, if there's another dude who's about to show her the time of her life, and she's getting pulled in either direction, that might actually be kind of fun. Because I do like jealousy. I do enjoy reading, like, a jealousy trope where it's like, no, actually. No. You're going to have to feel the pain, okay? So I'm going to read this first episode. And then we're going to see. I'm going to see how much it costs because, let's see how many coins I have. I have a lot of, let's see. Oh, Lord, he's getting his ass ate, Lord. Oh, no, that's right. I have point. That's right. Okay. Lezhin is such a fucking dirty bitch sometimes with this stuff. They suck, man. Let's just be real. Okay. So right now, of the coins, I have 1,900 coins. I have 90 bonus coins. And I have 1,200 points. But those 1,200 points aren't really going to get me much. Oh, hold on. I got some things to redeem. Oh, I have a lot of stuff to redeem. Oh, okay. Well, I wish I would have saw that the other day. Yep, I got some coin here. I have a call coming. Let's see. Let me see where these bonus coins are. Full volume. There's an event for full volume. I love you so much. And the frustrating thing is some of these I already fucking bought all of it, so it's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What can you do? Bonus coins. There we go. Anyway, so I don't end up making this long. I'm gonna decide. Let's see, because I should have done that before I can't stand myself sometimes. All right, let's see how much Love Junkie costs if I wanted to unlock it all. Oh, that's like all my fucking So that's 1,100 coins for 38. God, and like immediately she gets into doing it with the blonde dude. Oh, do I do it? Do I do it? I won't do it yet. But if you end up seeing this before, let me know. Should I read Love Junkie? I'm gonna put it on. I'm also gonna put it on as a poll or whatever, and see if anybody will answer. Should I read Love Junkie? Anyway, I just wanted to take a little moment to talk because tell my account. No, she can't tell by the account because I would hope that you cleaned your dick if you did sleep with your wife and you're about to sleep with her. Please, for the love of God, wash yourself. But you know, these dirty dogs, I don't trust him. And he probably is sleeping with his wife because he's a terrible person. Okay. Dang. But anyway, we'll talk again later. Tonight is Thursday, like I said, so it's me and Debbie hangout night tonight, but I don't have a lot of calls today. So I might be able to read a little bit in between some of these things I have to do and then be able to talk to you right before Devin and I hang out. He also is making dinner, so I can talk to y'all then, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to get into it. I'm excited, and I'm going to post that poll in a second because I really want to know, should I do it? We'll see. Okay, I'll see you again in a second.
Hello. Okay, so I've read volumes 1 and 2 of Cherry Blossoms After Winter. I do like this. Oh shit, I just realized. I fucked up. I put the sticker and I wrote down for blue cover. It's fine. This is purple cover, not blue cover for the Pride Readathon. She might be good. Not that big of a deal, but of course it's in my mind, so I have to say it out loud. So this is really cute. I'm assuming that it goes like this, and I don't like when covers do that. Okay, so yeah, let's just start here. So we've got these two guys. They've grown up together. His parents died when he was young, and his mom took him in because that was her best friend, right? She was best friends with his mom. And there is this moment when they were younger where he overheard him say to his mom, I don't want him to be my brother. Okay. And of course, he has internalized this for years. Now they're in high school and it's a senior year and he's like, oh, I think he hates me. But of course, he's acting weird to him and he thinks that he hates him. That was a little annoying, but you know what? Teens, I was a teen once. Not the best at communicating, so I get it, although it is annoying. I definitely want to kind of dive more deep into the dynamic of him and his mother because I like her now as an adult, but it's interesting the way she behaved when he was younger and how she treated him. She was definitely not a good mom. I mean, Jesus Christ. Some of the things that she gets caught saying, she clearly she wanted a daughter. She maybe didn't even want a kid. She's in a bad marriage. I mean, good God, woman. I mean, she just fucking dropping all this shit on him and treating him like shit. What do I always say, y'all? I hate when the damn parent is the first bully of the child. Don't say right with me. It's wrong. Okay, boom. Then, he's all meek and mild. He's getting bullied. And now they're in the same class. Now he's got to take care of him. And, because he can't ever fucking stand up for himself. Ugh. Another thing. I know that this is what really happens. Still kind of annoying. But it is what it is. Everything gets resolved. But, the point is that, they have some underlying feelings for each other. It's okay, though, because they're not related at all. Not even by marriage. The mom just took him in. So, and to be honest, I don't even feel like they're raised as brothers because they were so, there was like this wall between them because, they thought that the other one hated them. So when the time comes where they're finally kind of talking to each other, getting to know each other again, from when they were younger, basically, they were very close when they were like toddlers. Then I think it was like right before they became preteens, that kind of the breakdown. And then of course, when he moves in, he feels like he's a burden and that he doesn't want to like rock the boat in this family situation. He feels like I just have to keep my head down. Obviously, I genuinely appreciate everything that his mom is doing for me, but like, I don't want her to feel like I'm taking advantage of her. So very, very sweet and sincere young people. I'll just leave it at that. But of course, you know, he has strong feelings for him. And I know we're going to get to it, but it's very clear that like him saying, I don't want him to be my brother is because he's thinking, well, I like him. I can't date my brother. So cute in its own little way. But I think what's interesting is that these 2 volumes are them in their senior year, and I'm assuming that volume 3 is just kicking right off into them being in college and being young adults. So I'm really, really excited about that. I know that volume 3 is out, but I'm thinking I will probably just read the rest of the volumes online. I'm pretty sure that this is on Tapitoon and Manta. It could also be on Webtoon, but if they have sex in it, it's probably not on Webtoon. Because I feel like even when like I get the little advisory thing on Webtoon, like this has some mature topics, well, like they don't really be fucking on there on Webtoon. Okay, well, I'm above 18 and I want to see some stuff. Okay, not everything has to be fade to black, but it is what it is. That's fine. Not everything even has to be smutty. So there you have that. So I definitely want to continue on with this series, but I'm going to be continuing it on one of the platforms that I'm paying for, because, you know, I got to start fucking using these things. I don't think I have gotten on Manta in forever, and I feel very bad about it, especially because there's so many things that you can read unlimited. And I think a lot of the time with unlimited, it is censored, but like in reality, that's not that big of a deal. Like, y'all know I had a fucking bitch fit about it when I was reading Dangerous Convenience Store for the first time, and I was like, ooh, okay, I'm reading the first volume. I own it physically. And then I was like, oh, it's on Manta. And I realized, oh, no, you got to pay for them shits to be uncensored. So, yeah, there you have that. But it's okay. It's okay. You live and you learn. What else have I read? Girl Next Door. I'm actually making really good time with this, but I am so mad at so many people in this story. So, again, we will be doing spoilers talking about this because I'm fucking pissed off. So MC, as we've spoken about, MC is what? MC is working with her friend Joe. I don't like Joe. And I know I said that last time, but I really, really don't like him, especially after what just happened in the book. I actually wouldn't mind. I mean, if I assume that what's going to end up happening is they're going to have like a come to Jesus moment towards the end and everything will be fine and they will really like express themselves, but they'll probably have a huge falling out. And quite frankly, I think Joe is really like the worst of this dynamic, although MC is not much better because she agrees to go along with it. But yeah, she is going along with Joe's little plan because he doesn't want to get fired because, you know, he's living beyond his means. I'm going to call it right now. You know, he hasn't had a successful relationship either, so I don't know why we're, but, you know, he's trying to track down the author of Girl Next Door because it's written under a pseudonym and because he works for this trashy, you know, blog. You know, they make it clear, like, we're not the New York Times, so, you know, I'm seeing what I see what I need to see, and it's not looking good. It's giving, Paris Hilton, the website back in the day, is giving that almost worse than TMZ, okay? I digress. He is like, oh, we're going to find out who it is, and of course, it is probably this girl that we used to go to high school with named Nora, and I think what would be really interesting is if Nora did not write this book. Like, the more I'm reading it, the more I'm I assume that she will be the writer because it would be really, really crazy if, oh God, now that I'm thinking and talking about it, what if, okay, so like the whole point is they assume that this book, Girl Next Door, is written by Nora, a girl that they all went to high school with and who clearly had, you know, a crush on MC. They, as we see flashbacks from when they were younger, there was clearly a flirty chemistry between them, but MC had her eyes on Gabby, the straight girl, of course, who ends up dating and then marrying her brother. And she, I guess, never had a really good relationship with her brother. Like, it was kind of like, oh, you know, we're kind of cool, whatever. We're not really close. We're kind of bonding over, like, how shitty our parents are. But, you know, it's really him getting with Gabby that totally just, like, breaks anything for, like, the last few years. Like, once she graduated high school, she just went off to New York City and is doing her own thing, and she has nothing to do with her brother or Gabby. And then now, because she's supposed to go back home and, like, get the scoop on Nora, you know, obviously you look like a fucking piece of shit at the end of the day because you're taking advantage of her. You know, initially you're taking advantage of your brother and his wife in a way, right? Because you know that y'all don't get along and you're not addressing the elephant in the room. But time is going on now. And I think the thing I really like about this, because I was wondering, how the fuck is this going to work? It's going to take, like, quite a few months. Like, up until the point I got to, she'd already been there for 6 weeks. And she's going to be there for, I think, another 6 weeks. But basically till the end of the year. So it kind of starts in spring, summer. And then we are in fall. And then it's going to end in Halloween. Something like that. Something like that. Or maybe it was at the beginning of the year. Damn, I don't know. There you have that. So, yeah, I was wondering, like, how's this going to go? But everything's going to come to the conclusion, right? But anyway, as I mentioned before, I don't think I like anybody except for maybe Nora. Her attitude kind of bothers me, but it is what it is. MC, again, she's a pushover. She doesn't want to rock the boat. She is fine, supposedly, with, like, being mediocre. And I feel like she doesn't use that word, but, like, she would use that word if she had that word to use, right? Like, she wants more out of life, but she's too scared and, like, meek to go after it. And she's like, oh, well, I'm just going to be fine with the crumbs, basically. That's the mentality that she has, right? Okay. Then we've got Joe. I don't like him. At the time that the part where I got to is they have their meeting with Joe's boss because she's a freelance writer, like she's a part of it. And she tries to have a conversation with Joe beforehand. And she's like, look, these are the things that have happened so far. I do not want to expose Nora. I don't want her name out there. And I need it to be guaranteed that we won't put her name out there. And he's like, oh, yeah. So, unscrupulous attitude going on. Okay. He's like, oh, brushing it off, whatever. The other guy is like talking over her. And he's like, oh, you know, we're not the New York Times. He's like, because she says, like, I don't want to dox her. And he's like, we're not the New York Times. And she's like, So finally she's like, Joe, look, if they're going to fire you, they're going to fire you. But we're going to tell the story the way we want to tell it. And we're not going to let them bulldoze over us. But he still has a bit of an attitude. And I don't like that. Okay. He has a nasty spirit, in my opinion. And you know what? If you are willing to, what's the damn thing? Lay with the dogs, you're going to get the fleas, girl. And he's got fleas galore. And you know what, bitch? You got some fleas too. Because she keeps going back for more. But she is now getting a little bit better about speaking up for herself. And then she got to kissing on Nora, girl. We'll get to that in a second. In comes her fuck-ass brother, who is clearly, in my opinion, cheating on his wife, Gabby. Bitch, don't even get me started about that because you're a nasty low-down dog and I don't know what the details are yet, but I'm fixing to fucking find out, okay? He is with Gabby. He is wearing it in the open, okay? This is the thing that I think is disgusting. You might not like your wife. You're clearly not going to talk to her about it because you're a coward and a bitch. But the fact that you are showing it, the least you could do, since you're already a piece of shit. And I know at that point, since you're a piece of shit, you ain't gonna fucking do it. But the least you can do is not fucking sit there and have that stank ass face and being all cold and shit to her, talking shit about her damn family. Okay, you see what I'm saying? But you want to be all close to the fucking principal. And fuck that principal too, because you're in my fucking house. That's the other thing. I don't like the damn principal either. Because if you're carrying on a fucking emotional affair with somebody, don't you dare come into my house and break bread with me. I swear to God, that would be the time I would get violent, because if I find out that some bitch is in my house, you know I'm married. I don't give a damn. I'm already pissed off at the man. You are even more disrespectful because you too are a woman, and don't feed me that shit about I don't know you. Yeah. Be a good person. And you can tell I'm mad. You can tell I'm pissed off. Okay, then we have Nora. She is all angry and annoying, or I should say annoyed by everyone and blah, 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 blah. She is kind of like hooking up with Jen. Okay, Jen with the attitude. Wearing her Letterman jacket. Okay, loser. Oh, brother, this girl. Get that shit off. Get that shit off. Acting like fucking in high school. Now, girl, we're in our 30s. Take that shit off. Running around town in a damn jacked up truck. You see, I don't like anybody. Gabby, I don't dislike Gabby yet. I don't dislike her yet. She clearly likes to flirt. Okay, I'm not mad. But at the end of the day, is she really flirting? We have to discover more, because some of her memories are like, oh, y'all just had a conversation. Okay. Now, what made you think that I was fucking with you like that? Okay. Oh, hold on. Oh, and then they just kissed. Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing that would be fucking crazy. What if this whole fucking time somebody else wrote this fucking book about them and they had their own little fanfic? And wouldn't it be interesting if it was Gabby? I think that would be so fucking funny. If that was the twist, if there is going to be a twist in here, that would be such a crazy twist, because, Gabby's not the only one who calls out like, oh, y'all used to have a little, I could tell Nora liked you and you just weren't seeing it. Which leads me to believe like she probably knew MC had a crush on her. But it's not her job to do it. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to kiss the brother. I don't think it's the brother who wrote the book, but that would also be a crazy twist. But yeah, I think it would be so interesting if at the end of all of this fucking bullshit, they'd be like, oh, we know Nora wrote it. We know Nora wrote it. Joe, like, go there and expose her. And in the end, she did not fucking write the book, and it's somebody else, within this group who they were all in high school. That would be so crazy. That would be so crazy. And I would like that if that happened. Mainly because I hate Joe. Moving on. Bitch, I made it to part 4 of Blackout, and good once again. Okay, so as I've mentioned, I haven't read this since like 2015. This is my reread, so this is the second time I've read this, and very, very, very good. Now, I'm going to give spoilers for this, so please, I will try to remember to flash my hands, but like I am talking about this and spoiling it, so I just want to make that clear. So, flashing hands, going into spoilers for Mira Grant's Blackout. So this is the third book in this series. I didn't know until after the fact that there's another book, but I don't think it has anything to do with Sean, Georgia, and Mahir. Maybe it does have to do with Mahir a little bit, but I think it takes place years in the future. So, at the end of book 1, Georgia amplifies. She's going to become a zombie, and Sean has to kill her. This is an agreement that they both had with each other, and it's because they're like the CDC and some fucking politicians and billionaires and shit are making a point to not cure this disease, even though there happens to be research by a former CDC doctors who, like, when they start to find stuff out, they mysteriously end up killed. Does that sound like something that's happened recently in reality in 2026? Yeah, quite a few scientists are dying, and I'm kind of scared about it, but the people who have managed to hide, they are working to try to expose the truth. And what we end up finding out in book 2 is that because there are people out there who have what's the word? Okay. So the thing is that the disease is they call it K, or Kellis Amberley. It's because of it's the last name of the two doctors who created the cure for cancer and the cure for the common cold. Those got together, and then it created a fucking super virus, and it turned people into zombies, right? So there were some people who over time would develop like a strain of it, but they would not amplify. And Georgia had retinal Kellis Amberley. So her eyes looked like a zombie's eyes, but that was the only place in her body that had the virus that was like active, but she had not amplified to a zombie, right? And what they find out in book 2 is that because she had been shot with, more of the virus, she actually would not have died, and she would not have amplified because, she has the mutation. So she would have been cured. And I'm, well, not even necessarily cured. I think her eyes would have still been the same, but she would not have turned into a zombie. And that's the whole point. So this further breaks Sean's brain. He is devastated about the fact that he had to kill his sister. He finds out there's this greater plot, and he's like, well, I don't care about the greater plot. I don't want my sister to be dead, right? The very bad relationship he already had with their adopted parents, okay, because Sean and Georgia are not actually related to each other by blood. They were adopted by this family, but by this couple, and kind of like, oh yeah, see, we have no. So, the relationship that they had, which wasn't much of one because they only used Georgia and Sean as like props, in their whole little thing. They use them for ratings. There's like absolutely no relationship now because they wanted to further exploit her death. And, they are finding out that they're kind of being stalked. Not the parents, I'm sorry, Sean and the crew that's still alive. Some people we met before, some people that are new to us, technically. We find out that they're kind of being chased by the CDC, basically. They're kind of being like pulled into things that might be traps, but then they get out of it and they realize, okay, that was a setup. Oh, shit. Because they're like, we don't want Sean and his group to get closer to the truth because, after the end times, the blog and vlog and stuff that they run is like so fucking popular, and they were really, really good journalists. So, the government's scared. They hit me. Right? So then the second book ends, and I can't remember if the second book shows us this or if it starts in this one, but we find out that Georgia is alive, right? But the truth is that she has been cloned. And for the amount of time that she has been dead, and, Sean has been thinking that she's dead. Oh, and I almost forgot. He, as I said, his kind of brain broke further. He now hallucinates George. So that's like the running thing in the second book is that he sees George in his mind. He talks to her. It's like he's seeing her ghost. The people in his crew like somewhat accept it, but they're still very concerned for him because it's like, she's dead. And if anybody brings it up, which is not like he doesn't realize that, but this is giving him a sense of comfort. His mind is trying to help him. So we find out that in the third book, Georgia has been cloned, and all this time they have had many failures, but the Georgia we meet in this book is the best clone that they've had so far. Because basically, up until the point where Georgia would find out that she's a clone, at that point she would have a crash out, and then they would have to dispose of her. But this Georgia handles it well. So she's the most closest to the original George, right? But she realizes she's kind of on borrowed time here because there's better clones to be made, right? This clone has brown eyes. It doesn't. They could not introduce the Kellis Amberley retinal Kellis Amberley into her, so she's not exactly right, but she's close enough. You know what I mean? She basically is her. She has her memories. She has her mannerisms. She has her face. She's being, experimented on, and then she's kind of taken to a different part of the CDC, the Seattle CDC, and she realizes, there's actually a group who is working to kind of break her out of this. So like a counter government agency. Like, it was a government agency that kind of got, like, I think the word is defunct, but it's been working behind the scenes because they've known the CDC and the government is corrupt, motherfucker, and we gotta take them fucking down. And they will. So basically, all the way up till part 4, the groups are converging, right? So Sean, Bex, and Mahir are working with this mysterious character called the monkey who can, like, get you any type of identity you want. But they say the only way I'll give you what you want is if you break into the Seattle CDC and you plant this thing, right? Because we're trying to monitor them. At the CDC, the handful of doctors who are helping Georgia work for, like, the EIS, I think it's called. And they are working to try to break her out. So it's perfect timing. All right, they're about to converge. Except this group gets found out. They're obviously going to be eliminated. They find a way to push Georgia out of the way. She ends up meeting Sean in the halls of the CDC. And the even better part is that before Georgia leaves, she's able to destroy the remaining clones that are there, and especially the best one, which had the blue eyes, you know what I mean, that really looked the most like her. And the whole point is that they were going to release the clone, and she was going to betray Sean, Bex, and Mahir and everybody, so that, okay, now we don't even have to worry about this, and we have somebody who's, like, a really well-respected, person, even though everybody knew she was dead. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, we can come up with something. So they were going to use that as a way to further their agenda, right? Okay, so this is the thing that, typically I don't like this shit, but this is different, okay? And yes, I will say it's different, okay? Especially because I love this book. But, so, as I said, calling back to the outside world, George and Sean are brother and sister. Everybody knows that they're not biologically related and that they were both adopted, but it's very clear, especially in book 2, that Sean has different kind of feelings for George. Now, no one has seen this really ever, especially when George was alive. But when they break out the CDC. Now it is George, Sean, Bex, and Mahir. Because Sean has been seeing George for so long in his mind, like he actually has to confirm with Bex and Mahir, like, you can see her, like, she's not fake, like, she's actually a real person. She's like, yeah, okay. So they're like, well, how do we know? Like, how can we trust you? And Sean is like, he's grabbing George and he's like, tell me why I should trust you. And she's like, well, there's only one thing that I can do that will prove it to you, but I don't know if you want me to do that right now. And it's like, it's the one thing we never wrote down. And then the thing to show what it is that they kiss each other. So the truth has been behind the scenes, and they obviously made sure, like, they did a DNA test. They are not related anyway. Behind the scenes, they actually had an intimate relationship with each other, and they've been in love with each other, like, for most of their lives, right? And they're adults now. They're not teenagers or anything. So yeah, now the story will be moving forward with, okay, the realization by their team, okay, George is a clone. She's dead, but she's not really dead. And now that she's back with them, now they can share information, right? George can go back to, doctor, I can't remember the doctor's name, but the doctor that was basically like the former CDC employee who has had to go into hiding. Dr. Abby, that's her name. So they're going to get to swap secrets. We also find out, this is another thing, that because Sean spent so much time with George, like obviously they are lovers, they're in a relationship, but even when they were not, like, when no one knew this too, they would always share a room when they would travel for work. So he has had, like, skin to skin contact with someone who had a mutation of the virus. He has now mutated and he is immune to it. He does not have some type of mutation like George did, but I can't remember if it's the beginning of this one or the end of the last book. It might have been at the beginning of this one, where he is bitten by a zombie. They have their moment and he doesn't end up dying. And Dr. Abby, I think it was that she like had grown suspicious that because she's working on the shit about, you know, the variants and how these people who have, you know, a mutation would actually get better. So if we like mess with that, like they're also being killed. That's something that we find out in the second book, that like these people are mysteriously dying because like their existence unlocks the key to curing this. And, you know, the government and the CDC, these billionaires, they don't want to cure it because there's more money in there being this disease, this virus. Again, very close to home. It's so fun to read this, but at the same time, it's so frustrating to read this because, I mean, this is stuff that is happening literally right now as we speak in the real world. Crazy. So, yeah, they're going to get to share things. And now the POV that was like, it was going back and forth between George and Sean, but it was not like this is a Sean chapter. This is a Georgia chapter. So now in book 4, we go to Sean chapter, George chapter. So it's really interesting because what we also find out is that the vice president, because he was on the campaign trail with them at the time, he is made vice president, but he initially is a part of After the End Times. He's a journalist. He is a part of the EIS, the people who had infiltrated the CDC to help clone George, right? So, or when I say help clone George, I mean help the clone of George. Sorry. So yeah, so that is what's going on. I'm getting close. I'm gonna put it in StoryGraph to see what my percentage is, but I'm definitely like 60% of the way done, I would say. It's gonna go by fast. So I am 1,000% confident I will finish this in June, like I planned. I am confident that I will finish this in June, even though I feel sick to my stomach. Sick to my fucking stomach about everything. Now, what else is going on, y'all? And I'll try to keep it simple because I know I've been yapping. I've been yapping. But I have read a few things on Lezhin too. As I said, like, I really want to know, like, if Love Junkie is for me. I did finish that first episode, and I'm still on the fence. Apparently, the other thing about the cum, by the way, was, oh my God, because it was still so viscous and thick. Okay, I'm sorry. I understand if you're probably coming a lot. I don't have a ween. I don't shoot cum like that, you know, to where you're like, oh, is it, you know, more watery if you've been doing it for a long time? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm sure a fucking 24 hours could really replenish the shit. Okay, so he's like, don't you see? I definitely wasn't sleeping with my wife because my cum is juicy and fat. This is what is being put in my face. Okay, I'm just telling you what I've read. I'm not trying to be disgusting. I'm not trying to be but this is what is going on. Okay, and I too am scared. I too am disgusted. Okay, Jinx had an epilogue episode. That was great. So happy to see. I'm always going to love Jinx. And you know, I think people need to calm down a little bit, but who am I? Who am I? We love manhwa over here, so that's all that matters to me. I did read something else, though. Oh, was it? Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to start Release Your Persona. Yeah, I unlocked that on Tappy Tune because that's going to be so good. What did I read? Oh, God. Okay, hold on. So, girl, I read the first episode, and I will be following this one, of Nice to Meet You. Oh my God, this sounds so good. The first episode was so good. I'm going to read it really quick. Co-idiom? I don't know how to pronounce it. I apologize. is a total shut-in who knows how to do one thing and one thing only, write passionate BL smut. There's just one small problem. He is a complete and total virgin. To try and stimulate his brain, among other things, he takes to, well, taking care of himself in front of the window, imagining all sorts of sensual scenarios to jumpstart his creative juices. Sure, there may be an apartment right across from him, but nobody's lived there for years. Until now. Mid-self-love session. He looks up to see a man staring at him from across the street, and not just any man, but a bisexual icon and surely soon-to-be celeb, major actor Kwon Jae-yi. Some might say the situation is a little too close for comfort. Maybe it's just the right distance for something more. Okay, right off the bat, I love when they have have a haircut like that. That or a buzz cut. Although I do like a flowing, like kind of short shag or whatever you would call it. It's not my favorite, and I actually prefer this. If I ever write my own and I learn how to draw, a lot of the people will be looking like that. It's the only thing. I really do like it. But this was so good. I gasped because, yes, he is indeed caught mid-jerk. No, not even jerk, y'all. Mid-dildo up his ass. Okay? And then he finishes. Oh, my God. I screamed. Oh, there's some things that I didn't talk about that I've read. Holy shit. I didn't realize that. Oh my God. Dude, I keep purchasing things and I forgot. Unlikely Encounters. I think I read the first episode of that. Cheese and rice. Look at me. Girl. Okay. Let me just shut the hell up. I also read Brotherly Love. I don't think I talked about that. Oh, God. Yeah, let me just shut the hell up and get to reading because clearly I've lost track of everything going on here. And I need to get back into something else I'm supposed to be reading on Webtoon. So I know that I've yapped quite a bit. So I'm hoping that the next time I talk to you, that will be the end of the video. I'm going to compile a very long list of the shit I've read. I'm going to be getting into NetGalley. I'm going to be finishing these guys. I don't think by the next time we talk, I'll have finished this. But yeah, tomorrow is a very, very busy day for me. I have to be... Basically, we have like a virtual thing that's an 8-hour thing. Okay. So from 12:30 till 5, I have to actually be paying attention. Ugh, I know. Disgusting. I hate that for me. I don't know that we will get to talk on Sunday, but I'm going to read as much as I possibly can. Even in between all this time, I'm supposed to be paying attention. There's going to be times where I don't have to pay too close attention. So I will be reading then too. And that is what will be going on. I will have lots to talk about. And hopefully that will be the end. And I want to have at least 10 things to talk about. Which means this is going to be very long. So let me actually whittle that down. I want to have at least 7 things to talk about. 7 things to talk about. And not that I've talked about before. Okay. We're going to read some more of the Readathon picks. We're going to keep getting into some other stuff. And everything is going to be good. And I'm going to be very responsible. Okay? So, anyway, I will see you guys then. And in a second. We're at the end now. Okay? So, today is Tuesday. I'm actually really, really scared. Starting tomorrow. I wish I could show you what my calendar looks like for tomorrow. I literally work from 11 like phone calls, right, all the way down to like 5 o'clock. So that's like, I think I scheduled myself like 30 minutes just before somebody could sneak another interview in there. So I have 30 minutes to eat, to get up from my desk. So like, it is starting. Okay, so it's very important that I end the vlog now because the rest of this week, it doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to me until Friday because we have Friday off. So it's where we must end. But I've gotten quite a bit of reading done. I didn't complete a lot of the manhwa that I wanted to finish, but it's okay. I still have time. We will be talking about something I did. It's very, very good. And it's long, dude. And I only have like a day to finish it. So I really fucked that up there. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. But what I did read, which was just now, I finished all of these. So I reread the first volume. I don't think I ever read the second volume, and then I just pushed through all the way to volume 4. This was great because I hit blue book, orange book, and green book all in No God in Eden. So I read all 4 volumes. There will definitely be a 5th volume. I don't know if that's where it stops. I can't see how it would just end at volume 5 though. Like, we've got a lot of stuff to possibly cover. Like, I see the future possibly, but I'll read the back for those who want to know. Okay. It all began with Alpha and Omega. Shy, introverted Takai Shikito has spent most of his life with his head in a book. He's the complete opposite of his classmate, the handsome and charismatic Nishio Ririto, whom he always admired. The two have little reason to speak to one another, until one day when Takai notices an alluring scent coming from Nishio. Later, during gym class, a strange, feverish heat suddenly overtakes Nishio, and he begs Takai to help him, but rather than take his classmate to the nurse's office, Takai finds himself alone with Nishio in a storage room, the heat in his own body almost unbearable. Little do these two know that they are about to become the world's first Alpha and Omega, witnesses to the birth of the Omegaverse. So, very, very, very good. Glad I reread it because I didn't realize this was like such a short span of time that we are kind of doing everything. Obviously, because I've only read the first fucking volume here, but we basically see both of them experience like a heat within a week. And I want to first say that this manga, beautiful art. I wish I could show you certain things, but some of the things that I would show you, they're a little too intimate, and I don't think maybe I can show here. So like, when it is showing like the heat of the pheromones and stuff, dude, it's absolutely stunning. Like all of the flowers, it is just visually so beautiful. I think the story is obviously really interesting. You know, we're talking about an Omegaverse, but you know, you're also talking about teenagers. So a lot of the things that they feel for each other, you know, to someone else, you might just take it as like, oh, they're just teenagers, you know, of course, like they're horny, but obviously there's a molecular thing going on deep inside. But it is really interesting. I love the two main characters. I especially like in volume 4. So here's a bit of a spoiler, okay? So flashing hands, spoiler. It's gonna be quick though. Flashing hands. So in the 4th volume, actually towards the end of the 3rd volume, Nishio goes into another heat. And he and Shikito are away at like kind of like a summer camp, but it's not that far. It's like, I think it's still at the school basically during like spring or summer break. So because Nishio goes into heat and Shikito, like they can't do anything, right? It's like a school trip. He basically calls his dad because his parents are, well, his father is a doctor and he owns a hospital. And he basically says, Dad, I need you to come get me. I really appreciated the fact that his parents, especially his dad, so supportive, so loving. You know, I was really nervous that because his parents, you know, at the very beginning, we see like the inner thoughts of Shikito, where he's like, you know, my parents want me to be a doctor and continue on with the family business. And I see now the, like, mom's kind of tough. Like, she's not cruel in the way that some parents are in these stories where they don't allow their children to, like, it's just get good grades, A's, nothing less, because that would make you less, you know, like, it's not an abusive, like, household. So I really appreciated that. But, you know, Shikito knows, like, I have to tell someone, and I have to tell probably my dad. It makes the most sense. So he ends up having to reveal what's going on to his parents. And I really appreciated the fact that his dad is like, you know, this just seems so crazy. There's no way. But, you know, it's the doctor, sciencey person within him. And I like that. I really like that. I'm hopeful that we don't see something too bad with Nishio's mom. She also scared me at the very beginning. I was nervous that she was going to be, I think the term is like a helicopter parent. Is that what they are when they're just like hovering over you all the time? I could be wrong. So
I'll figure that out and I'll put it somewhere on the screen. But also, you know, you can tell me if I forget in the comments. I think that's what it is, but like just hovering because she lost, so Nishio's father died when he was younger, and it seems like it was a pretty traumatic thing. So she's like very protective of him. So I'm like, oh man, where's this gonna go? Flashing hints over. Either way, the next episode is gonna piss me off because Shikito's brother is, you know, I want to say this. I was a younger sibling. Technically, I still am a younger sibling. That doesn't change. But I was never annoying. Tiffany, was I annoying? I don't think I was. I didn't really bust into my sister's room when she was like in the middle of doing stuff with people. I'm sure I was a bit annoying. Come on. Can you all imagine me when I was a child? Lord. Lord. Crazy times. But I'm not like her. I'm not like his brother. His brother is really pissing me off because he's about to do something that's gonna piss me off. And I'm scared because his brother films him without his consent a lot, and he busts in his room. And right now, the way the 4th volume is that, you know, Nishio and Shikito have to leave the day camp or whatever, or the overnight camp for school because, you know, studying camp. Hell yeah. Get your grades up. Because, you know, he's going into another heat. So they got to come home, you know, got to spend the week doing things, you know what I mean? And, of course, this little fucker is going to show up and just, you know, just piss me off, quite frankly. Just piss me off, quite frankly. So I'm going to figure out when Volume 5 comes out. But, yeah, fuck yeah. Blue, orange, and green. You know, and I was really stressed about green for the 2026 Pride Readathon bingo board. I was like, what the fuck? What do I have that's green? I pulled, now this would have worked, okay? I pulled Megumi and Sugumi because it's green, but like, no, that actually is pretty green. But to me, like, this is a green cover, you know what I mean? Like, this just has green text. This is a green cover, so thank you. Thanks for getting here on time. My book's a million order. And maybe we'll get into her because, you know, she's been on my list. Did we talk? I don't remember. I'm not going to go into great detail. I got to chapter 3 of Fahrenheit 451, so I'm almost done. This is less than 200 pages, so this is where the book actually ends, and the rest of this is like acknowledgements and like what the fuck and references. I don't read that shit. Sorry, not to say it's not important. I just don't read it. So look at that. I barely got anything left. So I'm almost done with this thing, and I'm really happy. I've listened to Dungeon Crawler Carl book 2. I think I'm close to chapter 10. Oh yeah. I'm really hoping I can make some progress on these audiobooks, girl. But I still have time. It's only Tuesday the 16th. Now, things that I'm very excited that I was reading. I gotta remember that there's all the time before all my calls, and then the rest of the night after that, I should be fine. But tomorrow, girl, Webtoon app pisses me off sometimes. Okay. Well, hell yeah, I'm gonna do that. Anyway. Yeah, dude. It goes to coins on the 18th. This is gonna be tough, okay, because this is over 200 episodes, and I'm barely at 100. I started The Spark in Your Eyes. Of course, I had to go to my handy dandy Twitter person that I'm following, and every single time to make a recommendation, like I put it on there because they put the date. But I should have started this earlier. I knew that I should have, but I was really making my way downtown, walking fast, faces fast in a moment, you know. I was trying. I don't think there's any way that I will finish. I might get to the end of season 1. That is 142 episodes. I think I will get to the end of season 1, realistically. But so far, so freaking good. This is very, very good. I'm genuinely liking this series.
And especially because we're getting so much great background on characters. Actually, Connie, let's read the synopsis so the people know what it's about. Y'all know I love to do that. Just get to yakking. Erkin, a young pharmacist from the north, was orphaned from the war between the northern nations and the Mormoretta. After making a name for himself in Mormoretta, he is summoned to treat a mysterious master of the castle, whom no one has ever seen. He reluctantly agrees, hoping it will bring him one step closer to finding the infamous Witch of the Sun, who killed his parents during the war. Little does he know, on his quest for vengeance, the witch may have been by his side all along. What will Erkin do when confronted by his sworn enemy turned friend? So the spark in your eyes, so good. This is really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. I still have the picture up. But I like Erkin as a... Well, first of all, it's been a long time since I've read something from the POV of a man on Webtoon. I don't know that I ever have read anything from the POV of a man on Webtoon. You know, I prefer my women villainess POVs because, quite frankly, those fucking do it for me. But Erkin, complicated. I'm really interested in knowing what the hell's going on here. And of course you have Kaya. I've been working in the teams. So, genuinely good. Every single person is talking about this on my Twitter. It's peak, it's great, da-da-da-da. So, I have to do it. And so far, I've really, really liked this. I am enjoying the story. It's got action. I think it's going to have a lot more political intrigue as the story goes on. What I've seen so far, I find very interesting. So, liking that. What else did I read? I also was keeping up with, hold on. Yeah, girl, I'm almost done. I'm almost caught up with this one. I'm actually pretty far behind. X Love Review. I think I might have read the synopsis for you guys, but I'll read it again, and there's no point in me saying if I've read it before. I'm just going to read it 2 times. Giju is highly competent, but when it comes to love, she always seems to choose the wrong guy. This time, she thought things would be different. But again, her faith is betrayed, and during a heated argument, she ends up falling down a flight of stairs. When she awakens in her hospital, she starts seeing suspicious relationship reviews of others. Love reviews written by their former exes. Could this strange phenomenon be able to save Giju's love life? So, love triangle. Let's see what the tags are: comedy, college setting, self-growth. There's more than that, in my opinion. But that's a really good place to start. Throuple. Love triangle. Sci-fi. No, I really, really like the story so far. I like Giju. Although the one thing I'm not really fucking with is the fact that it's like, girl, you have to stop talking to these girls in this class. She is... I think the thing... I really, really like Giju. I was scared that I wouldn't like her and that she was going to be very meek. But really, she really does not take a lot of shit. I think she knows when to fight her battles, but she really, really does not take who would, but take kindly to disrespect. So, there's an incident where, at her family's restaurant, a homeless man kind of ran in on the bill, and she's like, I'll pay for it. And, for her, it's like, she's looking at this in terms of like, why would I be mad and chase after this person and like make such a big deal about the fact that someone who needed a meal, like I could provide them with a meal. It sucks that they ran out of the bill, and they kind of do this pretty frequently, but at the end of the day, this is one meal. You know what I mean? So I can really respect that about her. The one thing that drives me nuts though is how, as it said, she's pretty easily manipulated by men in her life, but girl, don't even get me started on a tangent. Let me calm down. We all know that sometimes these motherfuckers like to, I'm gonna smile in your face. I'm gonna be the good person. Yeah. And then when I get you, I'm gonna change to yeah. And that's exactly what happens. These fuckers are really, really pissing me off, and they're taking advantage of her. And it opens up with her being taken advantage of by her boyfriend. But he really does seem like he is a good guy, especially because the relationship she had before that did not end well. And, you know, she's basically gotten a reputation around school that, oh, well, you know, she dates these guys and they take advantage of her and she just stays with them. And then she goes crazy. There are these two girls in particular in her class. Bitch. Okay. Bitch one, bitch two. I can't stand a bitch like that, okay? Obviously, you're a hating ass bitch. Why? Why? And you know, who fucking cares? Actually, it's not really your business. And the fact that your thought process is like, you're going to shit on her, easily influenced follower ass bitch. And you know, I don't like that. That's what the two girls are, and that really makes me mad. So yeah, there's these two, and I really haven't, I'm just really talking, I'm just really complaining about them. So let me actually get to the point. So, you know, I don't like the fact that sometimes, yeah, I mean, I guess what I really want is for her to slap somebody, if I'm being honest, and that's not always right. I would really like her to get physically violent with these people and really just smack the shit out of them, specifically the two girls in class, because they really have a lot of fucking nerve talking shit about her and then believing all these men. But, you know, so two guys are vying for her. One of them has a really, really, really low love review. The other one has a super high one. And she has to try to navigate, like, oh shit, like, the guy who has the really low score, he actually really likes her. And he is kind of awkward, but he's like a really popular guy. So because he's so popular and his love reviews seem like he's like a womanizer, you know, she kind of holds him at arm's length. But then the other guy who has the high review, I'm scared that he's actually not going to be a good guy. He's just very good at hiding things. I don't know. But now they both like her. They're both like competing for her in a way. And it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen there. But there's now another woman, here we go, who likes the first dude, who really likes her. They both really like her, but one she actually knows for a fact. It's the guy with the low score is what I actually should just say. I guess she likes him because now here we go with another woman. Being a bitch to another woman. Now, why the hell would you do that? Oh my God, I can't stand these people. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Also, I think I forgot to mention, I did start Men of the Harem. This one's, I don't think this has like a, yeah. It's going to return after season 3. I'm not sure when it will return, but I want to read as much of Men of the Harem as possible. Really funny. Also, I don't know if I meant, the other thing I should have mentioned with No God Needed is that it is extremely funny. Not just, and when I said like the art style was beautiful, like there's so many beautiful like scenes, but there's also so many funny scenes. Like it's genuinely funny. And it's like, I think the best way I could describe it, if you've never read it, but maybe you've read Readathon, the way, damn, I can't remember his name. I was about to say Kim Dan. What is his name? You know who the fuck I'm talking about. The main dude in Readathon. Why can't I remember his name? It's Ken, right? You know. The way he's like so like dorky and drawn really funny, like I definitely laughed a few times, especially at the drawing. So very, very good. I'm just feeling like 10 out of 10 for No Gods in Eden. Yeah, it's really good. But Men of the Harem is very, very funny. Basically, this woman, oh my God. I'm just gonna read it. Scorned by her lover and thrown into power after the mysterious assassination of her father, Latil must marry to secure her sovereignty of Terium. Instead of choosing one man to become her royal consort, she chooses 5 young men from all walks of life to join her harem. Will Latil ever solve her father's murder? And can she keep the peace in her harem? Obviously, that's the best fucking case scenario I could ever fucking dream of. I mean, you're talking woman. Y'all hear them damn kids screaming? It's 9 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock at night. Get in the house. I don't mind children playing outside, obviously, but it's 10 o'clock at night.
My mom did not let me stay out this late. Running the streets. And these are like elementary school kids, by the way. Get them at the house. But yes, best case scenario for a woman to be in the middle of 5 men. Being yearned for, ravished. But also because fuck her old boyfriend. Like her lover, her past lover was such a dick, and he wanted her to wait for him for 5 years so that he could divorce his wife that he had to marry. And like, oh no, I'll really be with you. But she's like, but within those 5 years, you're probably going to get concubines. And because men are allowed to have as many women that they want to sleep with and have children with, but you want me to wait for you? No, I'm an empress. You can wait for me, but I'm never going to fuck with you again. So best revenge, y'all. Y'all know I like it. And now, of course, this fucking thing logged me out. I don't remember if I mentioned that I started Release Your Persona. I started the first free episode on TappyToon, but I went ahead and just bought all of it. So that's really exciting. I will be hopefully reading that. So I caught up on Yes Ma'am. We got a really nice background of what's been going on, like in the past with, in Juhi's past. But the way this episode ended was sickening. So this will be some spoilers. So, as you know, to my great despair, because why would you do this? Juhi ended things with Jiwoo. And she did it in a really cowardly way, just over text, after they had just done something together. And she knew damn well that he was having feelings for her. So she ends it with him. And obviously she really doesn't want that. But, you know, we find out like, oh, she's the type to run. You know, she's not really like into having really close relationships. And then as we go back in time, it doesn't seem like that's something that happened because of her ex. It actually seems like something that was just how she was, maybe. I'd really like to know more because I think it has to do with her mom. Somebody in her family was kind of shitty to her. I have to look into that. I have to reread it because I don't quite remember. But she definitely seems like somebody who was just always doing that to begin with. A few years ago, when she first dated this guy, disgusting, this man, her ex, he seems to be very manipulative, and it seems like he manipulated being with her. And the only thing that I am excited to find out about is what exactly their relationship was like. Was he more dominant to her? It seems like, you know, when she's with Jiwoo, that's her first time kind of like being in the more like dominant role. But it's hard to say exactly what happened. Like it sounds like what happened is her ex, because she says something when they finally meet face to face, just because he comes back to campus. She says like, he's used to stabbing people in the back or throwing you under the bus. He always does that. So I think that he obviously did something to her, maybe involving like work or school, and it threw her future off, possibly. She's still in school, and I don't know if she has a job, but he did something that to her was extremely unforgivable. I'm sure he probably cheated on her too, because, you know, what the fuck, maybe he stole an opportunity away from her. But this is the thing I wanted to say. I'm sick. She obviously still has Jiwoo's shirt at her house, sniffing on it. Pervert. And she ends up running into him on a run by accident. Who's like, oh, okay, I'll leave. Of course she tells him to stay. She's like, oh, I have your shirt. And she's like, come upstairs with me and I'll, you know, give it to you. So he comes and gets it, and he's like, you know, you could have just done this away. That's right. Put her in her fucking place, because how dare you hurt him? Y'all know I don't like to stick up for men like this. So obviously it's a serious case here. You know, he started cutting himself again. He's drinking, lonely. But then he makes a comment, and he's like, you know, it's hard for, you know, people within this community to really like, you know, when you find each other, like it's really hard. Like it's hard to find someone who's in the same kink as you. And she's like, what do you mean? Like almost like downplaying like what's going on here. And she's like, wasn't I your first? And he was like, did I say that? Bam! That's right. You know what? Put it in our fucking... I actually, even if you were his first, I hope he lied, because you deserve to feel like poo-poo caca. Because how could you do that to him? I'm really just gonna state... Just stick with that, because how could you... How dare you? And now you're bringing him up in here, and you're trying to act like shit ain't serious. I'm distraught. I'm feeling sad. What about me? Okay? Don't piss me off. So, this is what's going on. I'm devastated. But, you know, we will persevere as we do. Besides that, I don't know that I've actually even read anything on Lezhin other than that. I caught up on Revenge. Man, that story. I really do need to read the novel. I do. I certainly do. Oh, and somebody was like, oh, is it really worth getting Sugar Trap? Yeah, I bought all of that. Where the fuck is it? That's my question. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm living life and we're having fun. I will be reading things on Tappy Toon. I'm going to be reading some things on Tapas. We're getting into Tapas at some point. And we will also be obviously getting into Manta at some point. Hopefully reading NetGalley. But tomorrow is my busiest freaking day. Thursday. It's adding up. These things are adding up. These fucking interviews. And I'm... Okay, so when I... Quick break from talk. Just quick. I think everybody can tell why I'm rambling. That's what's going on here. So, yeah, when I was shadowing my coworkers for their interview process, like some people didn't show up. I highly doubt people are not going to show up tomorrow. They just talked to a recruiter today. And if you don't show up, why? Come on, let's talk about it. But I'm just thank God Devin's off tomorrow. He will be the only way I consume any food, because I will have no chance to get up from my fucking desk chair. Hopefully I can piss at some point, Lord of mercy. But I have interviews 2:30, a call 3. It's like an hour. Hopefully an hour. God. And that's a call that's on my schedule every Wednesday. 4 o'clock. There's a fucking whatever. 4:30, 5. I'm shaking. I'm sick. And then Thursday, not as many scheduled calls, because like typically Wednesdays, like that's when all the calls are, which is like, why the fuck will we even... y'all don't need to hear me complain about that. But Thursday will also be packed, but luckily it won't be so bad. And then Friday I am off due to the holiday. Saturday, maybe. God, please don't let them put a fucking thing on my schedule. Sunday, typically they don't do those, but next week it isn't just as bad. But don't you worry, because I already went ahead and blocked out on Outlook a fucking lunch, because I'm tired of this. I will not be beaten down like this. But the other thing I will say is that I got my hair cut. Yeah, she's cute. She's a little bit shorter. I haven't gotten my hair professionally cut in, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think over 10 years. When I stopped putting any color in my hair and I just let it be natural, there was no, like, I didn't really care. I mean, when I first started my channel, y'all saw the way my fucking hair looked. It was just brown. I would put it in the twist, or I'd put it in buns. That was it. Pretty easy. So I didn't really do much. Like, I would clip the ends myself, but girl, I had so many good ends. It was sick. I was sick to see it. But the lady was really nice. I was really struggling to figure out where to go. And I ended up going to Ulta. And you know what? She was very nice. I liked her. Then, but here's the thing. Here, the world is crazy. So when I was in there, obviously I'm wearing my backlight shirt. A woman was like, oh my God, I really like your shirt. And I was like, my shirt? She was like, yeah. And I was like, have you read this? And she was like, oh, no, I was just saying it was nice. Thank you. I do appreciate the compliment, but don't do that to me, okay? Because I want to talk. I want to talk about backlight. Thank you very much. but I still appreciate the compliment. I was like, oh, thank you so much. Then God is real. I went to Sally's on my way home. I was like, you know what? They're doing a buy one, get one half off for hair color. You know, I got to get my neon pink. Who is there? A green-haired employee who helps me find something, compliments my shirt. I say, have you read this? Have you read Backlight? Yes. Yes, they had. And we started talking. Fuck that customer that came in after me who was just standing there as I was talking. Why did you fucking have to come to the We needed to talk more. It was so beautiful. We were talking about Low Tide and Twilight. We were sharing recommendations. We were gasping. We were just having so much fun. And that customer had to ruin it. But I will be back. Oh, wait for me. Green-haired employee. I wish I would have caught their name, but I will get your information. I really, really need that, okay? I love all the people that I communicate with online. I would really like to talk about stuff in person, though. I love my friends and I love my family, but both of my friends don't read. They don't read BL. They're kind enough to listen. Devin is kind enough to listen. I don't talk about it with my parents, and I don't really talk about it with my sister. So I have nobody to talk to in real life, and I would love to just be able to go to a restaurant and just let's talk about BL, please. Or all of you that are online, let's meet in real life because I need it. Please meet me in real life. I want to have a book club. I want to go on like chatty walks and we just talk about what we spent our coins on. What a life, what a world. That would be beautiful. But yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back to Sally's Beauty. We will become friends. I will follow you on something. We're going to exchange numbers somehow. Now, am I absolutely scared to do that? Yeah. Yeah, I haven't like made friends in the wild in a really long time. Now that I work from home, when the fuck am I gonna do that? Because like I met my friend Ro when I was working in the field. It was glorious. What a glorious like Ro, I miss you so much. I miss you. Anyway, as you can see, I'm getting off topic. Did y'all hear that? That's the end of the video. This is definitely almost 2 hours long, so I apologize. What can I say? I just get to talking. We just get to sitting here talking and yapping away. And I go, oh, hi. And then I really go off the rails. So there you have it. But thank you so much for watching my video. If you like it, and if you like it, and subscribe, and the notification bell. Yeah, and if you want to follow me on other social media, it's in the description box down below. And you have a good day. Goodbye.